Detachment isn't about avoiding life. It's about experiencing life fully without letting it control you. And so, what if I told you that the secret to happiness isn't about holding on, it's about letting go with grace? And before you shift your attention, I would like to explain what detachment is. Detachment is the practice of mentally and emotionally stepping back from people, emotions, or outcomes. It doesn't mean indifference or lack of care. Rather, it's about maintaining a healthy emotional boundary where your inner peace isn't overly influenced by external circumstances. Detachment is about being present and engaged but not overly attached to the results. Hi, my name is Vanshika and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to talk about a special topic which you already know by now, but it is detachment. So, since I already told you what detachment is, and before I talk about why it's important, let me tell you how an attached person behaves, feels, or talks. First thing, they live for validation. Like, what's he gonna think about me? Will she praise my outfit? Will she praise my makeup? Does she like this? Does he like that? Will they accept me? Etc. etc. This is how depressing it is to be an attached person. So now let's talk about why it is important to be a detached person, or why is it important to be detached. So there are four main or key points. First is freedom from emotional turmoil, which we actually saw when the girl was thinking, what is he, she, they, them gonna think about me? Dressing style will look like to them? What will they think of me? What will they decipher off of me? So when you are detached to external opinions, you have the freedom from emotional turmoil, and you also reduce the risk of being overly affected by disappointments or setbacks. You learn to let go of the things that you can't control, which creates emotional stability. Second is better relationships. Healthy detachment fosters respect and boundaries in relationships. It allows you to love and support others without being overly involved in their struggles or emotions. Your struggle is your struggle, my struggle is my struggle. There is a clear boundary. This is also known as separation of tasks and turmoils, and this term is mentioned in the book The Courage to be Disliked. So what does separation of tasks mean? Your task is your task, my task is my task. If I ask you for your help, yes, please do it. But if I do not ask for help, I do not think you should intervene in it. And when you do intervene, it gives you an authority power, which is not a healthy way to go on with relationships. Third point is improved focus. By detaching from distractions or external validations, you can channel your energy into your goals and personal growth. And fourth and the last point is acceptance and growth. Detachment helps you accept life as it unfolds, making room for growth and new opportunities instead of clinging on to the past or fearing the future. So one amazing quote that I read was, detachment is not that you should not own anything, but that nothing should own you. So now we are going to talk about how to actually detach, and some advice that is tried and tested. So first is detaching from material things. Identify their true value. Ask yourself, does this thing brings me long-term happiness or just a fleeting sense of joy? If it's the latter, it's time to let it go. So for example, if you're attached to some clothes that you never wear, but you're attached to them, donate them and notice the relief of decluttering your space as well as your mental space. So there was this one dress that I was really attached to, and as I grew in height, that dress became very short for me, and I was so attached to that dress, I was not gonna let it go. But you know what? My mom donated it. I didn't even notice it that it was gone until 6 months later, and it was on my mind for the next 2-3 days, and then it was gone again. My life is the same, and I had no need to be attached to that piece of cloth. I thought that I would remember it a lot more, but I didn't. So the physical removal of things is really, really important. Second point is practice minimalism gradually. I know in this maximalism world, all of us love to hoard things. But what it actually does is, it takes up the physical as well as the mental space. Physical is fine, mental is not. So instead of buying collectibles or hoarding, save that money for trips or experiences that you will remember for lifelong, and it will create lasting memories. Also, one rule that I like to follow most of the time. I am also not perfect, I'm just telling y'all. It's the rule of one in and one out. So, when you buy something and bring one thing in, remove one thing also. This keeps your life and your mind clutter free and reduces over attachment to things. Second is detaching from people, whether it be romantic or friendships. So, again, evaluate that person's role in your life. Do they uplift me or drain me? Are we aligned in values and goals? Ask these questions to yourself. If the answer leans to the negative, you know what to do. It's time to create distance from that person. Also, stop putting people on a pedestal. It just means that you are putting yourself below someone. It doesn't seem that way because we are looking up. But when we look from that person's perspective, it means that you are keeping yourself down. So, you know how we keep actors and singers and all these artists or businessmen or even just nice looking people on a pedestal. What we are doing is we are keeping ourselves below them. This is one very hard fact to accept, but once you do accept this, good lord, everything changes. So stop putting them on a pedestal and treating them like some creature from some planet. No, they are humans as well. They just learned the skills. They learned acting. They did the job. And this is what I feel because I get so frustrated when people come to me and tell me that, oh, I saw this actor or this actress or something. I'm like, they're just normal human beings. Let them live. Yes, they love their attention, but that is because you're giving it to them. Once you stop, I don't think they would be that special. And it's not to say that you shouldn't yearn for a selfie or just your fan moment. It's just that you're treating them as someone from some other world and something like that. And I've seen so many actors confess themselves that please just treat us like normal human beings because we also are. Stop making up scenarios in your head and see the reality. We humans love being storytellers, scenario makers. We just love it. Our brain loves it. If our brain has nothing to do, it's gonna make up stories and live there and create some random version of that person, and when they meet him or her in reality, bubble bursted. They did not turn out as they were in their head with the stories that they created in their head. Reality is always different than what we make it up in our head. So stop making up stories and scenarios and see the person as is. Next point is give yourself the highest priority of all. If you treat yourself with the best of the things and the best care and everything, people around you will know that this is how you're supposed to treat this person. You're not supposed to treat them in a trash sort of a way. You should be your own biggest cheerleader. You should be the one who's pushing yourself to reach your goals. You are supposed to be doing everything you can do for yourself. And now, if you want to separate from some person who's not serving you anymore, give yourself micro separations. Practice small breaks from people who consume too much of your mental energy. So, for example, skip replying to every text immediately or take a few days for yourself. I know this is hard. We all love replying all the time. I love too. But I've realized I only love replying to people that I care about and are not draining my mental energy. I honestly do not reply to people who are draining my mental energy. So it's not that hard. It's just that you have to train your brain. Next point is channel your energy inward. The energy that you were putting outside on other people is supposed to be converted and put it inside. For your growth, for your development, for everything. Pick a hobby, join a class, or work on your physical health. So what happened was, I was bullied in school. Before everyone bullied me, I was giving a lot of my mental energy and space to other people. Now that they've bullied me and I've realized that they are not the best people, I channel that energy inside. Also let the relationships end gracefully. Not all connections are meant to last forever. And I have this biggest belief that everyone who comes into your life is there to teach you something. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. He or she is supposed to teach you something. It's not that, you've met them and it's a physical fantasy or something like that. No, they're supposed to teach you something. They've taught their lesson. They will exit. So let them exit gracefully. Normalize outgrowing people without resentment. Think of it as creating space for better relationships. I had one friend whom I met in the last 2 years of my school life. She taught me so much about myself. She supported me so much in my journey. Now that she has moved on to college, I've moved on to my college. We both live in different cities. It's not that easy to stay connected. You know what? I realized that she came in my life just to teach me how to love myself, how to stay on this journey. Now we are not connected because she taught me that lesson. Now it was time for me to let her go. Third is detaching from situations. Ask yourself, can I change this? Can I control this? Is it in my hand? If the answer is no, focus on what you can control. Your reaction, your boundaries, and your mindset. Zoom out, look at the situations from a long-term perspective. Will this affect me in 5 years down the line? Most often the answer is no, which helps reduce its emotional grip on you. Instead of being emotionally tied to every situation, observe it as an outsider. Think of it in this way. What advice would I give to my friend if they were in this situation? That changes the whole perspective only. That makes you realize what way you were looking at situations and what way your friend would look at situations as an outsider and give you lessons or advice. So when a situation feels overwhelming, practice being in the present moment. Focus on your breath. You know, the easiest technique to return back into your body and stop overthinking and stop looking at life as this one big bad thing coming onto you is focusing on your breath. Deep breathe, journal, or list things you're grateful for so that you are back in the present moment. And now that you have this abundance of focus and energy, redirect your focus. Find new situations or projects that excite you. Focusing on something positive makes it so much easier to let go of the draining situations. And fourth and the last part is detaching from past. Everyone's past seems to be such a haunting bad memory, but one thing that is good in the past is it taught you lessons. Lessons that will help you forever. Lessons that will help someone else when you tell them. So rewrite your story. View past as a teacher, not as a dictator. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? I'm sure it did something. Use this lesson to shape your future or someone else's instead of dwelling onto the mistakes. Detach from what could have been. Everyone loves their bathroom stories. Everyone loves overthinking in the bathroom. Everyone does. I do, you do, everyone does. And we love thinking what could have been. If I did this, what could have been? If I did that, if I spoke that, if I, showed that, what could have been? What could have been is not going to change what has already happened. So shift your focus from what you lost to what you can gain now. For example, instead of regretting a missed opportunity, think about the new paths you can explore. Forgive yourself and others around. Forgiveness doesn't make you a bigger, better person, but it does make your heart lighter. And forgiveness isn't a condoning behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the resentment. Avoid revisiting old photos, old memories, messages, or items that tie you to that past. Instead, create new memories that fill up the space positively. And start investing in your present moment because future is an illusion, past is a memory, what you have now is the present. So last and final thoughts before I end this video is, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. Many people think that, but that is not what it is. It means you create space for things, people, and situations that truly align to your growth and well-being. And as the saying goes, you only lose what you cling to. By practicing detachment, you gain the freedom to live fully and authentically. And with that, we've come towards the end of this video. I hope that you learned something or the other from this video. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all in the next video. Till then, bye.